Hey, Packy, my name is Schroeder, and I am Chapter 21, Recreational Sport, and I'm a member of the Seahawks. So just to start off with a little definition, all forms of usually competitive physical activity which through casual or organized participation aim to use, maintain, or improve physical ability and skills while providing entertainment to participants and in some cases spectators. How it started. Leisure time became available late in the 19th century as the people were working 6 days a week for 11 hours. So that was 66-hour work weeks. And then progressively, they got lowered down to 40-hour work weeks, which obviously let down time from 66 hours a week to 40. And this just addressed social issues, freeing up time, so people had a lot more leeway for activities. Now the history. 1872, President Ulysses S. Grant made Yellowstone National Park the first national park or monument in the entire world. 1880, the American Canoe Association was created. It shaped recreational participation throughout the development of instructional guidelines, so things started to get competitive, people started having races, and that's how recreational sport kind of developed. 1910 were the Boy Scouts and the Natures in these parks. 1912 Girl Scouts as well. And Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts emerged in the early 20th century as a part of the acceleration of recreational sport. In 1916, Theodore Roosevelt created the National Park Service, which we'll get to later. In 2010, President Obama established the American Great Outdoors, which was an initiative that was made for children to kind of get back into the wilderness and kind of stay active outside of their homes. And this is the National Park Service, created by Roosevelt in 1916. The NPS duty was the preservation of geological and cultural sites, including national seashores, historic battlefields, monuments, and also wildlife areas. They recorded 276 million visits in 2008 and subsequently generated $12 million in revenue for economic benefits. Now, these are just the top 10 outdoor activities from 2005 to 2007. You see walks for pleasure, just random walks, 193.4 million. Family gatherings, 164.7 million. Gardening, landscaping, 153.7 million. Photography of scenery, 145.8 million. Visiting nature centers, 128.4 million. Wildlife flowers, viewing photography, so-and-so, 118.6 million. Attending outdoor sporting events, 118.1. Picnicking, 116. And swimming, 97.7. These are numbers that were 2005 to 2007, and that's what they recorded in Chapter 21. I'm sure things have most likely changed since then. And these are just some quick stats. The ACA, as I said, American Academy Association, has 12,000 camps throughout the United States, and 11 million children and adults were said to visit these sites. The number of camps increased 90% from 1990 to 2010, and that's most likely because of the recession. People couldn't necessarily take those expensive vacations, so they decided to take them outside and a very cost-friendly vacation. As far as participation goes, the total number of people who participated in one or more activities grew by 4.4% from an estimated 208 million in 2000 to 217 million in 2007. But at the same time, the total number of participation days increased from 67 million to 84 million, which is a growth of 35%. And this was also cited in Chapter 21 by Cordell, Creek, and also, just a side fact, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife reported that 38% of people 16 years and older spent $180 billion on wildlife-related recreation. So a pretty lump sum of money. And to get to the economics portion of it, the $180 million generated on wildlife-related recreation is approximately the same as the total amount of people in the United States spend on spectator sports, so football, basketball, professional level, casinos, motion pictures, golf, golf courses and country clubs, amusement parks, and arcades combined. So I thought that was kind of a very interesting fact. Um, and the 12,000 campsites that the National Park Association sponsors or keeps part of, uh, it employs over 1.2 million adults, which is a pretty lump sum jobs for Americans. And 1.2 million, that's what people get out of it. The National Park Association wasn't created. And the money these parks generate go right back into communities surrounding them, which helps financially staff local school programs. These programs would be the first one to be cut if the park's budget was just completely diminished for these national parks. So the challenging issue is obviously since the last couple decades, the federal government's been in kind of a crunch, a crisis for our own budget. So this is causing them to tighten budget here and there. And you're seeing the ripple effects caused down from these parks. Once the parks go down, it causes the jobs, the upkeeping in general of the parks. Not many people are working there, so it's not as the standards aren't up to par, and it's just generating no revenue to go back into the community. So not only are the parks struggling, the communities around these people aren't getting the money they had for the local schools. So that's also a huge issue. And just to get to the career implications, obviously I'm a business major, so the whole aspect of being a park ranger and upkeeping of that isn't my forte. But I think everyone's kind of heard of the Pure Michigan, Visit Michigan.org website. And it's just kind of the advertising, the marketing, and the overall designing of websites. That's kind of the career path I intend to follow. So that's how it kind of implements into mine. So in that case, thank you very much. Is it?